Jamie was talking about the pole in the end of the reef. I think they only put the pole there in like in 2000 or something like that. I think the first kuta I caught there was in 1983 when I was 4. So, no, never had So, and then we basically we used to put up a campsite there for 3 months every year for 20 years. So we used to go there, used to take 3 hours on the dirt road back in the day. So we've spent quite a bit of time there. Yeah. So when you out at sea, if you have a look, everyone looks for the pole. Don't worry about the pole. When you drive onto the beach, on the right-hand side on the sand dune, there's a white pole over there. Just have a look at it. It sits over there. And when you're at the back line, you line that white pole up with the highest point of the sand dune behind it. And that's a perfect line in there. That's why it's there.
The pole in the sand dunes is if you're looking at the sea, it's to the right.
No, when you out at sea looking back, the white pole, so when you're looking at the beach, it'll be on the right-hand side. If you're obviously driving onto the beach, it's on the left.
Yeah.
And that on the top of the highest point of that home dune there is your perfect line in. I know nobody knows it nowadays because they always think, oh, where's the pole? But that pole breaks as well. So. And it's about 150 meters from where the pole is. So when the surf's really big, all you do is you just follow that and you wait until you see the pole, or you can see the white pole at the end of the reef and you can duck it. So that definitely. I guess the most challenging thing is the clean water. It's normally 25 to 30 meters viz all the time, like 90% of the time, probably 95% of the time. And small live baits. Most of your live baits are only kind of that big. And yeah, so obviously the water's really clean and the fish can see everything that's going on. But actually, there's a couple of things and it's actually very simple to fish there if you follow. So obviously the sabiki jig, your paddle ski, cut that in half. You've got 5 hooks in each, it's plenty. And then the trace, the 2 basic traces you need. That's a typical trace you use at Vidal, number 3 wire.
Can I push it?
With that's actually the heavy trace with 2 number 6 PKKs. When those tiny mozzies get light, you put 2 number 8s on. Yeah, and if you're worried about getting bitten off, you're not going to get bitten off. I mean, you might, but if you get those tiny little mozzies like that, you put 2 number 8s in it and the mozzie still swims properly. And then don't go heavier than number 3 wire, and that in the water looks really natural.
Number 3 all the way through.
Yeah, it's all I use. Even in Durban I use that now. And
where are you putting the hooks in the mozzie?
So if you have a look at those tiny little mozzies on its nose, like quite a big nose, just put it through the front on the side like that, and then one just on the back.
Next to the toe.
Yeah, about 2/3 down, and not in the toe, rather in the middle, no, just through the skin. But as I said, those are number 6 BKK fat. I use 6s and 8s, preferably 8. But if there are sailfish around, then the 8s do break, the 6s don't. So those 2 are fine.
Are you going to tell us your shoal trick with that?
With what?
With those where you put 2 mozzies on.
Oh yeah, so what, a number 3? Yeah, you probably get kicked off on the thicker wire. This just doesn't break. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So the one client I took there, we caught 4 fish over 20 kilos in 2 days. On number 3 wires with number 8 hooks. I think one was 27, so yeah. So and those number 6s with a sailfish and number 3 wire doesn't kink either, so you don't have an issue with that. And then what I would suggest is, I'm not a big fan of fluorocarbon, but in that area definitely it's worth using. I use the Momoe, that's a 30 pound, but it is quite expensive, but the Kingfishers sell the
Siglon.
Yeah, Siglon. That's one of my favorite. 32 pound Siglon that stuff's bulletproof. But buy the Siglon, don't buy the cheap stuff. That's really, really good. So,
but how long, if you're using a wire trace like that, how long are you using onto your...
I'd use that much, and then the Siglon I'd put at least 5 meters on.
Onto your normal 40 pound maximum.
Back to back. Nothing fancy. So that's quite simple. And then what you can do is, if the live baits are really small, like too small, you can actually put 2 on. So you just hook it behind the head on the front treble, another one behind the head on the back treble. And and it works like really well to pull it out great.
You're giving away proper secrets here.
No, no, it's really good, and the Dorado seem to like it as well. A lot going on, you know.
So what do you do?
You put it just behind the head. You put two mozzies on, one in the front and one in the back.
Stop talking and you'll hear.
Yeah, and it works really well. And then in terms of your down rig baits, I'd use this is a 6. Number 4 is more than enough. And yeah, generally the Salies you will hook it more on the down rig baits. Salies love a down rig bait. If you want to go a top bait, Dorado and stuff, then I'd go slightly heavier, use a 40-pound fluoro. I think the Siglon is a 38 or 42 pound, 38, more than enough. That's depending on the size of the bait, but that number 5.0 BKK is deadly for everything. And you just use a cable tie on that tiny little live bait and it swims nicely. So, in terms of traces, if you make yourself, if you want to, the tackle you want to take, if you take 6 traces like that and 6 of those, you actually don't need anything else.
You don't just start letting straight to a needler.
Right?
You can't just start letting straight to a
No, you need a parcel, it's gonna get too twisted up. And it does really get twisted up. So it's worth putting a swivel on.
How long did you say the fluoro was?
This piece is about 1.5 meters. So I put a 5 meter leader on both the rods. So then obviously this one will go into the swivel. What else? So that's basically all you need at Vidal to take on your ski. You don't need anything more than that. Just like that.
Your the fluoro you use on your circle trace, is that also 32 pound?
40 pound. Yeah.
40.
So 30 and 40, yeah.
So 30 on your top shots and then 40 on the
Yeah, 40, it's super clean. That 40 is perfect in the crystal. And then in terms of where to fish at Vidal, it's very simple meters, straight off the point, and just drift down. I should imagine with a pedal ski, you don't want to go past the white beacons on the south side. Sometimes what you find with the current coming from the north and the wind from the south is that you stay in the same place. It holds you in the same place. And if you can, those beacons on the south side is actually a flat reef that runs out to sea. It's one of the best places along the whole thing to fish there. Fish from like 18 meters and you drift down to about 30 meters. And it's that simple. All you want to do is you want to go out, put a live bait out and just drift between 20 and 30 meters, drift down to those beacons, take everything out when you're paddling back. Don't pull repoilers and stuff, you're going to kill yourself. And that's how easy it is. If you don't get a bite, the fish are not there.
And one fish for snook in Vidal.
You do get them there, not very often. November is actually the time of the year when you do get them there. And you'll see them on the back line in front of the reef down to the slides. You find them around there, but it's not very common to see them there.
Okay. So it's not worth putting a warning in for snook.
No, I wouldn't.
Most of the time, guys just get them by.
The spearfishermen shoot the caca over there, but they're quite hard to catch. But every now and again, I mean, we fish there for years and years. We do, and it normally is in November that you find them trying to scratch and jumping at the back line, and that'll be right off the launch.
Okay. But I'll try those.